Hi guys, and welcome to another review on this channel. But for the first time since I started uploading on this channel again after a decade break, it's going to be not wrestling related. I'm going to be reviewing a quick reaction to the Harry Potter TV series on HBO debut trailer. Boy, I'm excited about this. I've always been a Harry Potter fan. I mean, I'm British for one thing, so it's kind of like part of our culture. Obviously, there's been a lot of controversy around J.K. Rowling, and I'm not going to go into that politics and stuff. She said what she said. She's a fucking idiot for saying what she said. I don't look at the series as. I'm not going to boycott the series because of that. Because this is a lot grander than J.K. She did create the world, of course, but HBO are bringing it to the say the big screen. It's been on cinema, but now it's on TV. I always longed for something like this because the films. I like the first few. After that, I kind of dropped off. I'm very much a book loyalist, book nerd. I want it scene for scene. You're never going to get it on the films, of course. You will get it in the TV series, but I don't know. Maybe I'll review the films another day or do a tier list ranking or something where I'll rant about them and praise them in due process. But we'll get right into the trailer. First things first, they announced at the end of it that it's going to be released Christmas 2026. I am fucking hyped about that. The rumor was that it was going to be 2027. Everyone was expecting that. I imagine knowing HBO's formula, Amazon do the same, Netflix even do the same, but the big series that are like mainstream are going to be like pop culture icons. They tend to release a couple of episodes or a handful of episodes and then the rest week by week. Or, in the case of Wednesday, they released the series in two halves. Who knows what kind of structure we'll do? But that was announced right at the end, Christmas 2026. The rest of it, I guess I'll go in order. I've got the. Oh god, my laptop's kind of running slow. I'm not going to watch it through again. I've already watched it about 2 or 3 times. But I'm going to mute it so you don't hear, and then just go through and like give my thoughts on the frames, etc. Big difference in doing it on TV is that you have time. I wasn't unsure how they're going to do this. Philosopher's Stone is 217 pages long. Um, Read it for the first time in this very room about 25, 26 years ago, funnily enough. And it's actually probably my favourite film because it is more scene by scene. But with the TV series, if anything, I was looking at it more like, is it going to be how are they going to fill the time? Per se, I think they're going to add a lot of stuff that wasn't seen. They're also going to add stuff that the film couldn't show. The film, as I said, it's more by the book, but still there's a lot missing. The most glaring one, I think, was you don't actually have the scenes play out in the books, but Harry talks about them in his internal monologue. His scenes of primary school, his scenes growing up with the Dursleys. You see that right from the off. Also, there's one scene where Petunia cutting Harry's hair, which is was not in films, it was in the books. Harry just references occasions where he did things that is his magic showing for him. He doesn't realize it. No one realizes it yet. Well, it is, he's it. But he can't help it. It's beyond his control. One of the scenes in the books is that Junior cut his hair, to quote Harry, so brutally short that he didn't get he could barely sleep because he was worried about what kids in school were going to say. Where he's already bullied because Dudley doesn't like him, Dudley's gang doesn't like him, and he wears hand-me-down clothes and stuff. Very much like Ron. It shows the scene of they cutting his hair, so it's going to be the same crack. He wakes up, his hair's suddenly miraculously longer. It just grew overnight. And the Dursleys kind of like punish him by confining him to his cupboard under the stairs for X amount of days, whatever it is. A little attention to detail, stuff like that. I'm really positive on this series. There's some things that I might change or I'm a little unsure of that I'll go into, and other things that I really like. That is change I really liked. It showed Harry and running in there's a scene after the start as well, actually, where he looks like he's crying under the staircase. I imagine that is after his light was taken off him. Him and Dudley actually have a silent fight outside to see who can hear at the keyhole. Dudley wins, of course. Harry goes on the floor and listens under the crack under the door. I think this will be after that when they've basically like taken their letter off him. It then shows Harry running from someone, presumably Dudley's gang, because they do then catch him in a primary school. It took out all the other scenes that aren't shown. There's a time where he accidentally turned his teacher's wig blue. I'm sure they'll show that. There's a time where, maybe this isn't it, but he's running from Dudley's gang, and all of a sudden he found himself on top of the school. He's taken flight. The magic is burst out, as it does in young underage wizards, and they can't really control it. It looked like they caught him in the trailer, but maybe he breaks free then and happens again. Earned him his longest punishment in the books. As for the look, I noticed his light and scar doesn't seem as pronounced as Dan Radcliffe's Harry was. But man, and we'd seen this, I've seen on the Reddit subthread of this. I'll maybe go on it like once a month, just catch up on, what's the latest news and stuff. They'd already dropped images of the new Gold Trio and, other cast members. We'll get into that when it comes. He looks the part, for sure. He looks like exactly what I would imagine Harry to look like. Maybe a little thinner is how I'd imagine Harry, but at the end of the day, can't control that. It looks a bit wobbly, actually. I'm looking at it still now. It's kind of like, 17 seconds into the trailer. I'm not going to show the trailer and then react to it here because I'm worried I'll get the video taken down. But you guys know where to look. Harry Potter and HBO Max. There's a scene of Aunt Petunia cutting his hair, of course. She then says to him, "You're not special at all." Of course, it's going to show more of the Dursleys kind of just treating him like shit. In the films, they were kind of, they were assholes, yes, but it always struck me as kind of more goofy than anything, a bit more slapstick. The family, the Dursleys, where I think it's going to touch into the cruelty, the abuse, the neglect they imparted upon it more. Scene of him picking up his letter, Mr. H. Potter. The attention to detail in the series is something that really has me. I think it's got a lot of promise. It has me extra excited for it. As a real book fan, and I'm up there, man. I would challenge anyone to go head to head with me on just random Harry Potter trivia. I'd be right up amongst the top percentage, I think. The green ink on the letter, even something like that. I love. It's a nod to the films, not to the books, I think. It's got the loopy handwriting of Albus Dumbledore as well. McGonagall technically sends a letter, so I guess it could be her as well. We then see a reflection of Harry, and he's talking about his parents. He's with Nick Frost's Hagrid. I've also been listening as a bit of extra hype for the series coming up. I've been listening to the new full cast Audible books. They release one a month. I've got some plan where it's like a £5 a month. It was free the first month, £5 a month afterwards. So you can pick one book per month. It's currently up to the Order of Phoenix. And I'll say Mark Addy does Hagrid in that. His voice is perfect. I think it's the perfect amount of bass for Hagrid, where it seems really powerful. I would say Nick Frost sounds a little weaker voice than I would expect Hagrid to have. In this scene, of course, with the context though, he is talking gently. He's talking about Harry's parents to him. This, of course, is a scene that's not in the books at all. Extra stuff they're going to add. They do take the train journey. They showed that in the films to Diagon Alley. And it's a pretty sweet scene, man. He's just saying, "Oh, your parents were the bravest, kindest people I knew." The look is perfect. They already had the model for Robbie Coltrane, who, as well as Mark Addy, was just great Hagrid. It's going to be hard to top Robbie Coltrane. Rest in peace. Great actor. Loved him. It's not like I'm not looking forward to Nick Frost's portrayal. He's certainly, I think he is Southwestern. He can do the twang. It's just one thing I noticed. I feel like his voice needs to be a little more, I don't know, a little more powerful. We then have the shot of them walking out the underground. That'll be headed towards the Leaky Cauldron. A shot of Harry, Hagrid saying to him, "Well, I'll see you in Hogwarts." No, I didn't say at Hogwarts. In Hogwarts. Shot of him at King's Cross Station, which place I've been to before, actually. I've seen the platform 9 3/4 thing. And about 4 years ago, was it? 5 years ago, something like that. Then a shot that a lot of people are, I went on the subreddit to see the general reaction after this. A lot of people are praising the shot. It showed Catherine Parkinson's Molly Weasley. Again, I love the look of the characters here, especially as well. Harry Potter is set in the 90s in the books. 92 is the Death Day party, so it's 91 he goes to Hogwarts. Um, they've got a real 90s look about them. And she's certainly got a maternal look about her in terms of a set piece. Harry has his like 90s jumper. I've seen other set photos released of the cast of like Dudley, Piers Polkus when they go to the zoo. Again, they all look like, I'm a 90s kid. I know the 90s look. I was born 92. I think it's really put a real like good emphasis on the temporal period that it's set in. But Harry reacts to Molly hugging Ron goodbye, and another shot where he's playing off the emotion well. I think he's never had anything like this. Another shot in the reflection, you can see Ginny as well. They've all been cast, all the Weasleys, and they're all going to appear here except Bill and Charlie. Who knows? Maybe we'll see Bill and Charlie. I mean, there's so much time to add. If you do every series, like 8 episodes per season, a lot of the books are way longer, so there'd be a bit more scene for scene, less stuff added. I'm interested to see how they're gonna like add to the world in this. Maybe we'll see Ron and Hermione getting ready with their respective families, traveling to London to the Hogwarts Express to leave. Maybe we'll see a bit more of Ginny than just this scene. Whereas in the films, of course, she's a huge character in terms of by the end. In the films, it was the only thing we saw of what was her name, Bonnie Wright, I think. The only thing we saw of her was that scene at platform 9 3/4. So I'm looking at a scene. That's my thought here. I wonder whether they're gonna like add scenes elsewhere. We know they are actually for some things because John Lithgow plays Albus Dumbledore was filmed on a beach somewhere, and they've cast Nicholas and Perenelle Flamel. That will be them saying, "Oh, we fear for the Philosopher's Stone," basically, and transferring it over to him, who then, or just saying, "We'll send it to Gringotts. It can be picked up, and then go to the school for the protection." So yeah, there's definitely like extra scenes added. I'm hoping they do more with the Weasleys than just basically show Ron throughout this whole series, and it's more cameos of the others. I mean, in the book, Arthur Weasley's not even introduced until Chamber of Secrets. I don't know whether they've cast him yet. Actually, I don't think they have, so I don't think he's going to be in this series. But certainly the others, especially Ginny. I think there should be more scenes shown. It then shows them arriving at Hogsmeade Station. Oh well, I guess the Hogwarts Station. They go straight up. Hagrid leading the first years, of course. We're going to get that perspective this year, just like the films of them crossing the lake. The Great Hall looks fucking great. It really does. It's not how I would have pictured it, but and I heard this. That apparently they've taken a lot more inspiration from Hogwarts Legacy and that set piece for the look of the castle. Well, I'm all for that because it was fucking beautiful in Hogwarts Legacy. I love that game. I 100%ed it. In fact, I 100% platinumed it. I got all the trophies as well. So I really grinded that game. I know the castle pretty well by the end of it. If it's on the scale of that, then I'm all for it. It looks great. I love that there's like a sign as well saying like "Welcome to Hogwarts." You've got the chandeliers or all the statues. I don't see the. It looks like there's a notice board. There's a lot of banners for the four houses. I don't know if I see the house point things. They're normally in the Great Hall, I think. Oh well, I guess this is the entrance hall. So yeah, the house glasses are in the Grey Hall. A shot of Janet McTeer plays Minerva McGonagall. She looks great. She looks exactly like you would expect McGonagall to look. She has a bit of a severe look. You know, you can tell she's a bit strict, but also the warmth is there. So I'm excited to see her portrayal. We have a shot of the Sorting Hat, which looks a lot darker, a lot taller, a lot thinner than the old one in the films. And then, I mean, I'm kind of just skipping forward, like by clicking on the video. I might miss stills here because if you start getting, like you do in all trailers, a lot of stills at once. There's a shot of Ron, Hermione, and Harry. We haven't touched upon Ron and Hermione's look is great. You know, there was, I say, some controversy. You're always going to get idiots. There's some people who are like, "Oh, Hermione's not brown like Arabella Stanton is. She's like mixed race. Snape is not black like Papa Esidu is." I would rather be more book accurate. They are white characters, Caucasian characters, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, man. As long as it's not like a huge, it has. Hollywood is doing this a little more these days. I don't think it matters for Harry Potter, these fictional characters and stuff like that. It's not like there's cultural relevance to it as well. Even, say historical characters. I know in Troy recently they cast what was it? Lupita Nyong'o as Helen of Troy. See, that one annoys me more because Troy is, she was from Sparta. She was Spartan. Arabella Stanton's the only one I have a gauge of her performance so far. Probably more so than the others because she was in the full cast audiobooks. I thought she was great, man. I'd seen already one of the first videos that dropped, like leaks, that was released after the trio was announced, was her audition, or like, a snippet of her audition. And she was great. She sounds like Emma Watson. She just sounds like Hermione. She's got the bossiness. She's got the bushy hair here with a red Gryffindor headband. She's got the look. Same for Ron. I mean, Ron in the books. His name Alistair Trout, I think his name. Ron is a bit more tall and gangly and got freckles and stuff. I don't know if Alistair has freckles here, just like Rupert Grint. He didn't really have the height or the look and that, but it doesn't have to be that accurate. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't matter so much as long as their acting chops are good. Good luck to all these kids in this series. I'm on board with all of them. I think their look is great. We then see Anton Lesser as Ollivander. Excited for this. He's a great actor. I mean, he's not going to be in many scenes, just like John Hurt. He will only be shown in this one, and then again I mean, I guess they could add scenes in like the second book where like Ginny gets her wand, stuff like that, to flesh out the time. But probably won't see him again until Deathly Hallows. Although I guess maybe he gets kidnapped in Half-Blood Prince, so maybe we'll see that. But I think otherwise we just hear about that from it's Bill or Lupin or something. When Harry's at the Burrow at Christmas, is it? And we hear that. There's a shot of him giving Harry his wand. Excited for that scene, of course. And then he explains, it was the brother of Voldemort's. A shot of History and Magic. They never did show Professor Binns in the entire film series. Now they have more time, they're going to do it. They handed over his explanation of the myth of, well, they think it's a myth, of the Chamber of Secrets to Professor McGonagall, for example. This set looks great. The room, it looks almost like a uni lecture room, actually. You've got like kind of like the tiered seats up. Kind of in darkness, he's showing like it looks like a PowerPoint presentation of probably Goblin Rebellions or something. There'll be scenes, stuff like this. My favorite parts of the books are just the random day-to-day life of Hogwarts, when not much is happening, but he's talking about his lessons and the interactions with the other students and stuff like that. They're actually my favorite parts because they're the parts that really make it feel like home, Hogwarts. And there'll still be a scene that's kind of like follow along with that. Because I don't know if this ever has any real like relevance, anything that Ben teaches them, to be honest. We get a bit more world building. The shot of Harry looking there, you can see it kind of reflecting his glasses. Hermione's just in front. I'm not sure who's behind. We might have, I'm going to guess that's Lavender Brown. Maybe Neville. The shot of Harry looking up next. Well, 1 minute 24 into the trailer at this point. It looks like a two-tiered. This is Gryffindor common room, I think. Complete with chandeliers. We've got balconies. A lot more like Hogwarts Legacy. And then we have like an aerial shot which looks fucking great. I mean, the production on this, it's HBO. It's going to be great. Speaking of great, I think the casting of Malfoy, Crabbe, Goyle, and Pansy Parkinson have been perfect. Yeah. I did see a clip on this Reddit thing of Lox Pratt, his name is, playing Malfoy here. In Lord of the Flies. They did Lord of the Flies BBC series a while back, and he's perfect. He really is. He gave a vibe of Malfoy. You know, he's kind of like almost aristocratical arrogance and I mean, we know Malfoy. We don't have to go into it. The way he sneers down at other people. This kid has the look of it, and he had the acting chops to do it. I want to just notice as well, he's wearing a ring. Maybe that's going to be like a Malfoy coat of arms ring. You know, the little extra details there, great. Flanked by Crab and Goyle. No, there's got one of them's got the pudding basin haircut, so that'll be Crab, and then the other blonde one is Goyle, and then Pansy next to them. I love this next shot as well. The shot of Harry opening up a parcel, and it says Nimbus 2000 on it. It's got a real like 90s look about it. This box says on it, "Swift as a star." Next shot we have all of them. It looks like Gryffindor versus Hufflepuff walking out onto snowy Quidditch pitch. They are the first team Harry's team ever take on. That's right. They he catches it in like 5 minutes. Oh, is it? It might be Slytherin first, actually. I know the only one he doesn't take on the first book is Ravenclaw because they get flattened by Ravenclaw after he can't play. It's when he's in the hospital wing at the end of the year. It's the only reason they don't win the House Cup. Then we have a shot of Ron and Hermione watching in the crowd. Big comparison in my head right now to Rupert Grint and Emma Watson. Another shot of Harry. It looks like one of the twins, Fred or George, is walking in front of him. They've all got brooms over their shoulder. The Quidditch outfit looks great. It's got the all maroon, the gold colours. It's interesting. They've kind of done very unique broom designs. I'm not sure if I like that. The Harry one, it looks like it's kind of like I don't know. It looks almost like an axe shape. And then there's a Hufflepuff guy carrying his broom over his shoulder, like in this edge of the gate, edge of the shop. And it looks like if you look at it from like the back end, it's kind of like a crosshead screwdriver. Look, I'm not sure how I feel about that. But I do like the kind of giving the brooms their own identity. Now I have a shot from inside the greenhouse. Herbology. Again, looks great. They've all got like the herbology gear on. And there's a shot of Hermione and I think Neville and Parvati and Lavender. I can see there. This, of course, will be where they learn about mandrakes, which will come in very useful later on because Hermione will know about them. No, it's not mandrakes. Oh, yeah, this will be where she learns about Devil's Snare. Mandrakes is Chamber of Secrets, of course. There's then a shot of it looks like Harry and Ron are racing across the house tables at Christmas, you know, when they're like empty. I love shit like this. He's got his fucking 90s gear on, his old lovely clothes. Just little scenes like that where, you know, it makes you feel like home. You really get a sense of the friendship between them. One criticism I have for the films was that I feel like it's just so wooden a lot of the times. And there's only so much you can do with child actors, I guess. You know, it's hit or miss. But little scenes like that, I'm excited for. You know, following on from that, looks like Harry and Ron, and I believe I didn't recognise this one. But I believe on the subreddit it said this Hannah Abbott, the Hufflepuff. They're all on one side in a snowball fight. And then it shows Hagrid doing Snow Angels. It's kind of out of character, but whatever. A shot of Harry and his Quidditch team putting hands together, and then they're giving it that little team bonding moment just before they head out to do battle with Hufflepuff and looks up. Yeah, they are still filming this. The next shot looks fucking great. It's shot from behind, Harry in his Quidditch robes, and it's kind of billowing out. You see Potter 7 on the back. And then Harry and Ron, presumably at Christmas time when Hermione's not there, they're left alone, basically by themselves in the whole Gryffindor common room. They're roasting marshmallows over a fire. They do reference that in the books. Well, it was Harry and the Weasleys roasted marshmallows, yeah, because that's right. Fred, George, and Percy also stay behind at Christmas because the parents go to visit Charlie. Then see a shot of Hermione smiling. It looks like they've got. Look, what is that badge? I can't tell what she's got. Like, oh, it's a H. She's got like a Hogwarts generic Hogwarts badge on. I was thinking maybe did have like the lion on there. But it looks like obviously the colour theme is more similar to the books. The jumpers, trim, and the ties. She's got a Gryffindor tie on. Then see a shot of Papa Esidu as Snape. He's got his wand out with a light. I'm not sure what he's doing there. I'm trying to think. Maybe this is him on the way to cut off Quirrell. Again, there's been some people who are like, oh, critical of this guy's casting. He even got death threats, apparently. I saw some people laughing at the fact I was like, oh, Snape's got dreadlocks. Whatever, man. Whatever. Although certainly it will give a different feel to the scenes where he's bullied by the Marauders when they're going to be four Caucasian guys. So, a bit iffy, man. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, if he's a good actor, I don't really care. He looks right here. Now we have a shot of John Lithgow as Dumbledore. Bro, guy looks exactly like out of picture. Fuck Dumbledore. More so than Richard Harris. More so than Gambon. I preferred Harris. I thought Harris was great. He had the gentle, wise, calm old man, omniscient old man Dumbledore vibe more. I feel like Gambon had more the powerful Dumbledore vibe more. Do you want a mix of the two? And I think Lithgow is certainly capable of it. There's a shot of him, a couple of torches, wall in the background. It looks like he's holding tuning forks. Fuck only knows what this is. I imagine this is when he goes to see the Perenels. And I don't know what he's doing. No idea. Even like my book knowledge, I can't even guess what that scene is. We then see the final scene. They're on the Hogwarts Express. Hermione's there. In the Ron, he's holding his wand. He says to Harry, "What is?" No, he says, "Are you really Harry Potter?" Harry just kind of like looks at him, like nods. Ron just goes, mind blown. Hermione only joins them in the Hogwarts Express in the first book when she comes to see if they've seen Neville's frog. So this will be this scene. If she then sees, this will be why Ron has his wand out. Ron promises to send Scabby's yellow. Of course, he can't. You see on the shot the discarded tweet wrappers. I guess when I was just cutting through the scenes here, I missed one. There is one real quick still in the trailer, I remember, where it looks like him and Ron are kind of like looking around in the compartment. They're throwing wrappers at each other, the sweets. They're kind of kicking out the feet. They're acting like kids. Kids do. I know they get real fucking older as time goes on, because they're war children, basically. As Aberforth says, so much burden, so many to be fighting so young. So while they are like kind of young and innocent, I guess scenes like this make more sense. On the whole, man, I'm really excited about it. I think the set pieces, the looks of them, the clothing, costume department, everything about it looks on point to me. Um, it's not going to be to everyone's cup of tea, of course. Like I said, I mean, there's been some controversy about Snape's casting, for example. A lot of the other castings look great, I think. Some people were like, "Oh, Aunt Petunia and Uncle Vernon are too young." They're not really. Aunt Petunia was only a couple of years older than Lily, I think. Lily was 21 when she died, so she was like 20 when she had Harry, if not 19. Um, so it makes sense that Aunt Petunia is about my age, like early 30s, as the series starts, and so is Belle Powley, I think, who plays her. And Daniel Rigby plays Uncle Vernon. Again, he's probably about, I don't know, 36, 37. Perfect ages. If anything, I feel like the films, the cast were all way too old, man. Like, I mean, way too old. Papa Essedu, I don't know how old he is, but he's probably about my age as well, which is ideal to be playing Snape. He would be about that age. Um, because of course he was the same age as Lily and James. Whereas Alan Rickman was like 50. The Richard, what was his name? Rest in peace to him. I can't think of Uncle Vernon's actor's name now, and it's going to annoy me upset me because he's a great actor. He was also in With Nail Night, but he was probably about like in his 50s when the series started, for example. Again, too old. Let us know what you think, guys. Not going to yap on too much. It's already been half an hour, which is longer than I thought it would be to kind of break down and talk about a 2-minute trailer. It's been posted on HBO. Fair series starts Christmas time. Very, very excited. Let me know what you liked, what you didn't like about this. And yeah, maybe future as like a build up. I guess maybe in the weeks coming up to this, I could do more like film breakdowns, or I'll certainly keep an eye out for more trailers, maybe react to them when they drop, or just various news. And when I kind of branch out in just talking about more entertaining things on this channel, or do game reviews even one day, something like that. Who knows? Yeah, let me know what you thought about this trailer. I am pretty fucking hyped for it. I'm gonna keep an eye out. I would expect the next trailer to be maybe around June time. It's the 30th anniversary. Well, no, sorry, it's the 29th anniversary since the book came out on the 26th of June. Maybe that'll be when we get the next one.